You're watching Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney, Southwest Florida's #1 show for smart retirement planning. He's a best-selling author, radio personality, and a fiduciary advisor you can trust. Get ready for expert insights, straight talk, and strategies to secure your future. Now, here's Southwest Florida's premier investment advisor, Eric Kearney.
So glad you are with us on Retirement Talk. Brad Johansson with Eric Kearney, Joseph Lanza. Gentlemen, thanks for letting me sit in with you guys for a little bit.
Good morning. I'm so happy to have you here, Brad. It's going to be a great show.
It is going to be fun. I mean, you've been watching for a while. I know a lot of you have made this appointment TV and said, you know what, I'm going to learn something. So we're going to continue to teach today. We're going to do a little family financial fitness. If you haven't done your workout yet before you take on this show, we're going to get you in fitness mode here. Opposites attract, right? Yeah. I mean, maybe, I don't know about your marriage, opposites attract here, yeah. And then we've got to deal with that. And it probably is no different in financial circles. I want to talk about how we kind of deal with maybe some of those, because you may see a lot of the opposites attract when you come into the office.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I just deal with it. She doesn't do anything. I'm just going to come by myself. Right. Or she says, you know what, I'm the financial person. He doesn't really. Why is this so important when we think about making our marriage work? Should we be thinking about making our finances work within that couple? Does that correlate with you at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when people come in, they talk about their lifestyle. It's exciting, right? And we get together because honestly, when we are with someone, we want to live experiences. We want to travel. We want to cook together, eat together, enjoy our family. But when it comes to our finances, there is a great divide. Some people are worried about today, not so much tomorrow. One is a saver, one is a spender. One is actually making a concerted effort to make it home first to hide all those Amazon packages. So yeah, Brad, there is a huge, great divide when it comes to marriages.
So as you put this together, is it easy to say, you know what, we can match this together even though, I don't know, maybe your risk tolerance is different. Maybe your risk tolerance is different. But as a family, we create a risk capacity that works for both of you. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so. And what we did was we actually created something to combat that, and it's called the Couples Alignment Quiz.
Oh, I love this.
It's a great idea, and because we've seen it over the years, this divide that's there, and what we're trying to do is help couples actually get together, be on the same financial page. So we're going to be a little interactive today. If you grab your smartphone and you go to myIncomePlan.com, go to Retirement Resources, and down there, you're actually going to see our Couples Alignment Quiz. And they're able to go on there, Brad, and actually take this quiz together and try to get on the same page. And that's really what financial planning is supposed to do.
I think our financial planning process, too, the process of going through a financial plan together as a couple helps you naturally get on the same page about things. Because sometimes you're getting asked questions that you've never been asked before as a couple.
You're getting a little nudge to get closer,
yeah,
right?
even Donna Krohn, who's our certified financial planner, who puts people through these processes, one of the first questions that she asks people is, what is most important to you about money? And even a simple question like that seems so easy to answer, sometimes couples have different responses to that.
No question.
And it's like, oh, I didn't know that was important. That was that important to you. Yeah, it is that important to me. So I think going through that process together can naturally get you on the same page as well.
We'll leave that up for you for a little bit. MyIncomePlan.com. You can scan the QR code right here on your screen. Go to this, and all of the resources are there. So maybe you want a couples alignment. Maybe you're in the mood right now where you need a little couples alignment on this. I want to talk a little bit more about the tax implications on something like this. When we're married, most of us are in the best tax bracket that we can. Married, filed jointly, right? Mm-hmm. And then inevitably we lose one of our spouses, and everything changes. Take me through that, Joseph.
Yeah. So when one person passes away, a lot of times that income does go down. It goes from, 2 Social Securities down to 1. Maybe you have a loss of a pension in there. But even though the income goes down, the taxes can actually go up for that reason that you just brought up. You were married filing jointly.
Yeah.
Now you're single filing status. The brackets are a lot lower. And so even though you're living off of less income, you're actually paying more in taxes. And that's what we call the widow's tax trap. And even when you factor in required minimum distributions or other investment income, it could actually make that even worse, especially for women since they statistically live longer than men. And so this is why we do income planning that takes taxes into account, that's tax efficient, that we're looking for these scenarios ahead of time. That way it's not a surprise tax bill to that surviving spouse when they're already going through so much.
Southwest Florida is not the cheapest place to live, as we know, for a lot of couples. It's attractive for a lot of reasons. Why are couples looking for, look, we've had a great market, right?
Yeah.
I have an advisor, right? You've had an advisor or multiple advisors, and they've done really well for me. Mm-hmm. Why is looking into retirement change for who we should be looking for as an advisor, and why are you different in that way?
Yeah. What's really interesting is that Florida is very transitional. So you have people coming from all of these other states moving into Florida. And now what they do is they buy their home, they go golfing, they go to the beach, and then they're like, holy cow, we have created a lifestyle, and they don't want to lose that. That's the one thing that we're actually seeing is where people say, look, we've invested, we've socked away money, but we've really never had a plan. We never really had a strategy. Now we have to take care of our retirement, and we have to make sure that we're serious about this. So people are looking for a financial infrastructure. They're looking for a financial plan. They're looking for that income plan to make sure that the life that they have created, that they have become accustomed to, is not going to be in jeopardy. Taxes, inflation have gotten to be significantly more expensive. Healthcare is soaring, and even housing costs are soaring. So people are coming to us and they say, I want a process, I want a procedure, I want to make sure that I can be able to live my life.
Joseph, you've dealt with so many of these people coming in. Mm-hmm. Have you heard from the folks who are saying, this is different from the advisor that I talked to before?
Absolutely. And I think that's what sets us apart is the financial planning process. So many advisors out there, and I hate to say it, but they're just asset gatherers. I can manage that account for you. Great. Okay. And then that's it. You don't hear from them. There's no planning for the future. There's no, here's when we should be looking at retirement. Here's a good Roth conversion strategy for your situation. Here's tax planning. Here's estate planning. Here's generational transfers of wealth. There's so much that goes into financial planning. I think when somebody first comes in and even we just start to have that initial conversation with them, they start to get that feel of that difference of a person maybe that they're currently working with, or maybe somebody else that they interviewed with in the past.
Absolutely.
And so they can already see, and a lot of times just in the first meeting and then the second meeting when we go over preliminary income plan, a personal financial blueprint, I've had people that have been working with an advisor for 5 years prior who have told me, I've never been shown something like this. And I'm on a second meeting with you, not my advisor yet most of the times, but that says something, right? So we put a lot of upfront work into those individuals to show them we want to educate you and show you what our process looks like, because this is what we believe how it should be.
Eric, we've got to go to break. Tell people what you're offering when they walk into the office.
Yeah, sure. So there are a lot of people out there who are uncertain, who are looking to put themselves in a better position. There are also a lot of people that are looking for a second opinion. You may have just moved here and say, hey, now I've got to take my finances very seriously. Go to myincomeplan.com and download your very own retirement income guide. Once you do that and you give us a call, let's set up an appointment. Let's do your personal financial blueprint. We're also going to do a preliminary income plan to show you where your income is going to come from and why. Give us a call today. We'll see you on myincomeplan.com.
So don't waste any more time. 800-779-1942 is the number to call. If this has been complicated, if this suddenly feels different, you've been watching and saying, I've had an advisor before, I'd like something different, make the call. 800-779-1942 for your complimentary retirement income guide. We're back after this.
Welcome in, everyone. I'm Joseph Lanza, investment advisor with Retirement Wealth Advisors. And today I'm joined by Donna Krohn, our certified financial planner here at Retirement Wealth Advisors. Donna, thanks for being with us today.
Great to be here again, Joseph.
Great to have you. Donna, today I want to talk about something that I think you have a lot of expertise in, right? You've helped so many families, so many individuals prepare for retirement, get through retirement. But something that might be on a lot of people's minds is, with all that experience, what are some of the most common mistakes that you see retirees make?
Okay, well, let's start with the attitude of doing it yourself. We live in a society today where pretty much anything that we want to know about is really just a button click away or a mouse click away.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that information is not specified or individualized to your situation. And that is also very general or could be incorrect.
Right.
I actually was watching a YouTube video not too long ago, and I had to write in the comments because there was actually some misinformation in there, not intentionally,
Right.
but there was misinformation in there. I'm like, actually, I do this for a living, and that's not the case, right? So with that being said, the attitude of doing it yourself without any kind of feedback or, from a real professional, not just somebody who does this for a living, but somebody who knows your specific situation. I would say that was one of the most common mistakes that people do. Another common mistake is the missing out on certain aspects of your finances that you don't take into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Things like taxes, inflation, healthcare. When people are looking at doing like their retirement planning or their financial planning, they miss some of these crucial areas, and they could have a huge impact on the actual outcome of the plan if they're not factored in.
Yeah, I mean, we do this every day, right? We're doing this 24/7. So we might think of a lot of different aspects that an individual might miss. And especially when that plan isn't customized and looking at all those different aspects for somebody, it's very hard to take a piece of information and truly personalize it if you don't have that personalized financial plan, right?
That is correct. With all that being said, I'm all for education, right? The more our clients know, the more they understand, the better off that they're going to be. And I always tell clients, when they come in, one of the first things I say to them is my primary purpose is to educate you on your financial situation.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with the information that's available out there, but to go it on your own without somebody walking with you, without somebody actually setting up those guidelines and taking you through and really working with you one-on-one, it can be a little bit dangerous out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Donna, thanks so much for your time today. Back to you in the studio.
Back to us in the studio. Retirement Talk. Brad Johansson here with Eric and Joseph. Nice to see Donna on that. Tell me about the podcast again, because this is farmtruckfinancial.com. I love the idea. Take me into that where people can kind of delve in a little bit more.
Yeah, so I always felt like the financial industry was a little overwhelming to people. You're talking about stocks, bonds, budgets, money, bull market, bear market, all this stuff. And people get overwhelmed, Brad. And so they start to shut down a little bit.
Yeah.
With the farm truck, every time I drove the farm truck, people loved the idea. So it was kind of like a piece of Americana. It kind of took people back to earlier times, and they could really relate to it. On Farm Truck Financial, we're trying to reach out to people and say, look, financial planning is a little overwhelming, but we can walk you through this. And so a lot of times I'll actually call somebody out on the show when they get a little too technical. I'm like, hey, that's not what Farm Truck Financial is.
Saying me.
Yeah, this guy. But there's a lot of people that get technical, and it's like, we don't want to get technical. It's like, we want to make sure that we're capable of serving a client, but we also want to communicate with them, right? You don't want to ever push the client. You want to guide the client. So this is where Farm Truck Financial really came about. We love doing it. It's a great podcast. You can go on Spotify, Google, any of your favorite places to see the podcast. And we're going to be talking about this later because there's a lot about wellness as well, other than just financial.
I love that. I mean, the idea is this is the comfy spot. And it's not, oh my gosh, I don't understand spot. This is back home. This is us understanding. Let's go back to where we started the program, Joseph, where we talked about getting couples aligned.
Right.
And if we put myincomeplan.com back up there, you can go to this and find, how do we do that? You sound like a marriage counselor now financially. If you're able to fit a lot of people who are really struggling to try and get on the same page, how does that happen?
I feel qualified to be a marriage counselor. No, but I mean, part of that starts with when we work with the couples. Typically, one person is going to take the lead on the finances, and that's completely normal. That's a complete normal dynamic of a relationship. It might be somebody's preference to do it that way, but you run into an issue where if something happens to that financially savvy spouse, if you will, it can leave that surviving spouse feeling very lost and overwhelmed. And so our goal is to really provide confidence and clarity to both individuals, not just one person. And we do that through simplifying our process. So when we're building that financial plan, we're taking both spouses through how their income flows, what accounts fund what expenses, what happens if one person passes away. And Brad, that's all built into the financial plan itself. So if life throws a curveball at that couple, they understand how that plan works. They're not left guessing what they need to do. They know who to call. They know how that plan works. So I think it comes back to we want to give peace of mind to both individuals, not just favoring one person who maybe likes spreadsheets a little bit more.
Yeah, well, it covers a lot of what if. And the interesting thing is, and I think you find this with a lot of people who are walking into your office, don't know what we have, Eric.
Yeah.
We're not quite sure what we have. Well, have you been with somebody? Yeah, I've been with somebody, but they just keep saying, we're okay.
Yeah.
We're okay. And we drop it on your desk, and this is our plan, and it's a portfolio. Is it okay that if people walk in and say, I don't know what I have, and I'm not quite sure how we're supposed to get there?
Yeah. And I think that's normal. People say, we weren't sure if we should come in, or we're afraid to find out where we are financially, or we're afraid to admit we really don't know what we're doing.
Because that fear is real for a lot of people. This is daunting and overwhelming for a lot of people to walk in and say, I'm going to share everything I got with you.
Right. It's procrastination, right? And look, CNBC did a study, and it showed where 64% of couples are financially incompatible. So look, to be financially incompatible isn't a life sentence. It's just more of a communication issue. When you do a financial plan, what you're really looking for is we want to be protected. We want to feel more confident. We want to feel more secure. That's what the financial planning process really does. We're walking you through, and I always say that there's 5 things that every retiree needs.
All right, go slow on this.
Yeah,
go slow on this.
You might want to write this down.
Yeah, there you go.
A financial plan. Okay. It's identifying your goals and objectives. Number 2 is an income plan. Where is our income coming from and why? I think those are 2 of the biggest things. I want to understand how I'm going to afford my lifestyle and how I'm actually going to pay for it. The third thing is going to be tax planning. How do I lower my tax bracket, and how am I managing my taxes over the next 2 decades, especially before required minimum distributions come out? Because a lot of people lose a lot of deductions in retirement, expect to be in a lower tax bracket, and they're not. The fourth thing is going to be strong portfolio money management. If you want to live your lifestyle, if you want to do Roth conversions, if you want to make sure that you're leaving money to your children, all of that is funded by a rate of return. And so you can't stay in cash. Everybody says cash is king, but I say compounding is king.
Amen.
And the last thing is people do not want an app, and they don't want a 1-800 number. They want concierge service. The thing is that as long as I'm around and Joseph agrees with me, I want somebody to pick up the phone when they call. This is your money. This is your life. This is your finances. We want to make sure that somebody's able to pick up the phone and actually answer my questions. So concierge service, and I think that we can all agree, customer service is going aside with any company anymore. It's frustrating. That's one thing where we prioritize the customer. We want to make sure that that client has full communication about everything. So again, 5 things that every client needs in their retirement.
I love that. Myincomeplan.com. And within that, Joseph, if they scan this QR code, there are multiple options within there once you hit there. Give me an idea quickly what those are.
There's a couple different tax calculators that you can actually go onto and see what that looks like for your exact situation, some possible conversions. There's also a bunch of retirement wealth guides that you can download. So we have an income guide, a Reimagine Your Wealth guide. We actually have a woman's and investing guide on there as well.
Love that.
All that is free to download. You can get it all from myincomeplan.com.
As we talk about this with couples, take us to break on what people can expect as they come in. And what are you offering them?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do want to get couples on the same page, Brad.
Yeah.
So again, this is kind of fun. It's very interactive. You can do it today during today's show, but you can go to myincomeplan.com, go to retirement resources, and then click on the couples alignment quiz and take that together. Believe me, if you guys have a better relationship, better communication, it's going to lead to better things, if you know what I mean. So go to myincomeplan.com and we'll see you in our office very soon.
I think I know what you mean. Then you're going to want to make a phone call to 800-779-1942. Don't you want to get on the same page? It could lead to better things. A complimentary retirement income guide is just the first of that. We'll be right back.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Eric Kearney, president of Retirement Wealth Advisors. For the past 15 years, we've been helping pre- and post-retirees learn how to retire and live a more dynamic lifestyle. People have so many questions, not enough answers. Yet we go out there and we're buying tools, products, investments without any real proof if these are actually going to work for us. Sign up for our course, Reality in Retirement. We're simply there to educate you about the beginning of retirement all the way to the very end. We talk about tax planning, income planning, portfolio money management, and what we really want to do is help you understand how to live a more dynamic lifestyle and plan for longevity and sustainability. So if you have more questions than answers about your retirement, go to myincomeplan.com, sign up today, and we'll see you soon.
This is a beautiful spot. Myincomeplan.com is a great place to go for resources. Tell me about the seminars that you guys are doing all around.
Yeah, so we are teaching seminars. They are full education courses. So we're not pitching any products, tools, or investments, but we do feel like people have a lot more questions than answers about their retirement. So we are teaching these courses. They are available on myincomeplan.com. You can go there and sign up for these courses. They're fully complimentary. And more than likely, you're going to know more about your retirement than ever before. It is a fast-paced class. We teach them. There's a lot of information. I mean, it's about 90 minutes long, and it goes by so fast. But we have packed so much information in them. So we love doing them. So sign up for yours today.
All right. I want to continue on this because we're going to run out of time. We can't get to it all, which is why we're so glad you're with us, and we want you to make the appointment as well. Healthcare, long-term care. Look, 7 out of 10 of us are going to require long-term care. And it's one thing when you're married. It's a different thing when one passes. Take me through some of this and why we need to pay attention to it in the plan.
I think when it comes to long-term care, a lot of things have changed. A lot of people that maybe had a long-term care policy from the past and they're carrying that forward, they realize that it's not the best thing that they can have. There's a lot of little things that maybe they didn't realize before they got sold that. The price of it has gotten more and more expensive to keep that going. There's elimination periods on there. There's, little things that you have to satisfy before you can actually receive benefits from that policy. I think more than ever today, individuals want to know that they can self-fund a long-term care event.
Yeah. That's
what we run in a financial plan to show somebody, right? We're looking at a ton of different scenarios, but one of the most important ones that people want to know about is what if one of us, or if you're single, if I go through a long-term care event, I don't want to be a burden on my kids, on my family. And when you can show somebody that they have enough assets and how we're going to get them to that point, we're going to use this account, we're going to use this strategy in order to get you to that point where you can self-fund that long-term care event, it's like a sigh of relief going over that, right? Wow. And it makes you really realize that if you have a true financial planner, they're looking at all those different aspects of your life. They're preparing for any potential roadblocks that you may have and putting things into place to get over those roadblocks ahead of time.
We talked about this at the beginning, that sometimes when the opposites track, there are mistakes. And that's what we become afraid of, especially when the runway gets a little bit shorter of making the mistakes.
Right.
Estate planning, beneficiaries. You probably see a bunch of these. You say, you know what, we'll take care of that later. And it becomes very costly when you don't include the understandings.
Right. So a lot of people avoid estate planning altogether. They're excited to do the portfolio. They're excited to do the income plan. When all of a sudden we get to the estate planning part, they seem to run out of emotional gas. And so they're just like, Eric, I don't know. I kind of want to put this off. It seems overwhelming. I'm not sure what to do. And believe me, I put mine off even for a very long time. When I actually did my personal estate plan, I felt so relieved that if anything happened, I was covered. My family was covered. My business was covered. My employees were covered. We have to think about all the responsibility that we have that we need to pass on to somebody else. So again, if you go to Farm Truck Financial, you're going to see Catherine Payne from Payne Law. She's one of the estate planning attorneys that we work with. And there are some great guides on there that will help you through the estate planning process. And it really is the last thing that we need to do, Brad. But I think by far the biggest one that's avoided at all times.
Yeah, I got you. When we try and put couples together, obviously social life may be different for a lot, but is it important to include, we do necessities pretty well. A lot of times we don't think about what we want our retirement to look like. Do you actually include in talking social and physical life and what that's going to look like over the next 20, 30 years?
Absolutely. It's a huge part of the financial plan. You can talk about the basic necessities that everybody has all day long. You can fill out a budget of your utilities, what your housing is costing you, groceries on average. But most of the time, if we're preparing for a fulfilling retirement, that means it should be filled with activities and hobbies and things that we've been waiting to do for our entire working career. So the activities and hobbies should be driving the purpose of your money. And that's the fun part of financial planning, right? Yeah. That's when the people that aren't really spreadsheet people like perk up and they're like, I'll tell you how we want to spend our money.
Exactly.
And so we do bring people through that financial planning process, and we're equating and accounting for things that are going to come up in the future as well. Even when it's things and expenses that we don't really like to see. Like we met with a client not that long ago, and he sat down at the table and he said, well, we got a big problem this year. My daughter is getting married and I need a good amount of money. And we said, yeah, we have that right here in the financial plan. Like we prepared for it a couple of years ago when he mentioned that. And he goes, oh, okay. And again, it's like that sigh of relief, like, wow, okay, that was already prepared for. I'm good. So that's what that financial plan really brings to a lot of individuals, is just the confidence and clarity.
Okay, you're ringing the bell for a bunch of people. What should people do next if they say, you know what, we're one of those couples that need to get on the same page? What do we do?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is call us. The number's on the screen. Give us a call, 1-800-779-1942. We are there to pick up the phone. And what we're going to focus on is your overall complete lifestyle. And really, it is just a conversation. And I think the biggest thing is, Brad, that people get so overwhelmed that we're going to be throwing numbers down in investments. And it's really just kind of taking a look at your life and seeing what it looks like, what it feels like, and what it should be like, and how we're going to pay for it all. So really, we are just there to support your lifestyle. So the biggest thing is give us a call today or go to myincomeplan.com. Remember, you can go to retirement resources and go take that couples alignment quiz, get on the same page with each other, and we'll see you soon.
It's kind of an extension of your family. If you want the relationship in the home to be better, maybe the finances will help make that better as well, to extend and looking into from what I have to do to now what I get to do. Make the call to 800-779-1942. Time's important. Don't keep kicking the can down the road. Let's get this together and on the same page. Grateful for your time here. Thanks for spending it with us. See you in the office and right back here next time.
Hey, Southwest Florida, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions after today's show, please give us a call.
Remember, you only retire once. Let's get it right the first time. Have a great week and an even better retirement.